What's up, everybody, and welcome back to episode number 22 of the Home Mat Advantage Fantasy Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Hughley, and I am joined again for this next episode, as the one before, with Jude Swisher and Seth Gross, Jack Mueller, and Earl of the Open Mat. We, again, like stated before in the last episode, we actually made episodes 21 and 22 as one giant episode, realized that it was just way too long, so we split it down into two episodes. You know, more flags, more fun. It all works out. You still get to hear it in the end. But hopefully you guys listened to episode 21, so you have figured out that 2005 moved on, and we are about to jump into the next duel between the next two teams. 2015 is our 8 seed, and 2006 is our 9 seed. And so we're about to figure out who is going to move on to wrestle the number one team in the bracket. And I'm just going to go ahead and get into it without further ado. Check out the rest of the episode, and I hope you enjoy it. Our next one is going to be number 8, 2015. Versus number 9, 2006. So as I go through and get rid of these check marks and
what are
such,
these? What are these little hearts? Hearts you got there, Jacob?
The hearts are bonus points. But as I've gotten rid of all of that stuff, let's go ahead and dive into it. 2015 is actually Jude's team. And Jude wasn't on the call when we decided who got which teams. So I just want to let him know that when we decided which team to give Jude, we looked back and we're like, all right, we got to give Jude one of these more recent teams. But
I know why you gave me.
We know that Jude's a gigantic Penn State fan. And so what's the only year Penn State has not won a national title in the last 10 years? 2015. So there you go, Jude.
It makes perfect sense. Yeah, no, I wouldn't want it any other way.
We absolutely had to give it to you.
It was
Nice.
Sam's idea. No.
Great, thanks. That punk. Whenever he gets up here,
It was
wrestle.
Yep.
Hey, I'm wearing the Penn State shirt for you.
Yeah, I am. I actually am.
A little bit.
I had to break it out.
Nah. You don't deserve that thing. Take it off.
Hey, man. I'm a fan of the sport. I had to wear something different than normal stuff.
Yeah.
I had to break it out and get the cobwebs off of it. But let's just go ahead and get into it. Jude, tell us who is on your 2015 roster that Penn State did not win.
All right. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. 2015 national championships. I was going to say where it's held, and then I completely forgot. So never mind. But it goes like this: 125 pounds, Nathan Tomasello, followed by Cody Brewer, Logan Stieber, Drake Hudeshelt, Isaiah Martinez, Alex Deringer, Matt Brown, Gabe Dean, Kyvan Gadson, and Nick Wisdowski.
Held in St. Louis.
Held in St. Louis, thank you. I mean, of course, every other one is held in St. Louis. So
I just remember where I was sitting and the giant Blues logo behind me. So, yeah, St. Louis. 2006. Who had the 2006 lineup?
I did.
All right, Earl. Tell us.
All right, this was in Oklahoma. We had Joe Dubuque at 125, Matt Valenti at 133, Nate Gallick 141, Dustin Schlater 149, 157, Ben Charrington 165, Johnny Hendricks 174, Ben Askren 184, Shane Webster 197, Jake Rochalt, and heavyweight Cole Conrad.
All right. So picking a starting place here again. Honestly, are we going to start at 74 again here? Or where do y'all want to end it?
No, yeah, let's do that. I think 74. I mean, Deringer Hendricks is a really good match to end on. So
Heavyweight's a good one too.
Which one?
Heavyweight's a really good one too.
For sure.
25 is good too. Jeez.
Well, where should we start?
I vote 74.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll go there too.
Cool. Well, let's start off at 74. Get it started without further ado. 174 pounds is going to be Matt Brown from Penn State versus Ben Askren. Man, this is It's going to be fun to talk about. I think we kind of know which way we're going to lean here. I still have a whole lot of hatred towards Matt Brown for losing my bracket one year.
You picked him for
Nope.
your fantasy?
So I picked brackets with my dad every year, and we've done it every year. I've won every single year except for 2. So I think it's like 6-2 or something in the last 8 years. This is the first one that I lost. I had won 5 in a row, and we get down to the very last match being the Matt Brown versus Tyler Wilks finals match. And he had Matt Brown, and I didn't have Wilks, but I had enough points to where he had to have Matt Brown win to beat me. And that was when Tyler Wilks got hit for 2 penalty points in the last 20 seconds of the match to lose a national title. And I'm sure he's hurting way more than I am, but I'm still a little bit bitter about that one.
Every once in a while I'll get hit with a wave of sympathy for him and just be so upset.
Yeah.
Hands in the national finals, you just gotta be man.
Yeah.
Dude, that was rough. But let's get into it. Tell us a little bit about Matt Brown, Jude.
Yeah, so Matt Brown, this was his first this was his first national title. I have a question. Was he a walk-on at Penn State?
I think I've heard something about that.
I think he was not. I think he might have been just a preferred walk-on, because he might have gotten smoked by Ed Ruth in the wrestle-off, and nobody really knew who he was. But yeah, eventually, kept going. Eventually won a title as a senior. And in a pretty, looking back, it was a pretty tough bracket. It had Kyle Kretschmer, Mike Evans, Logan Storley, Zach Epperly, Wilps, obviously, and Robert Kokesh. So a lot of really good guys in this 174. This whole period from 2013, 2016, 174. I mean, it's always been really good, but this was especially deep. So yeah. That's Matt Brown.
All right. Earl, tell us a little bit about Ben.
All right. So this was his junior season. He went 45-0. He had 25 pins this year, 61 for his career just at this point. He won the first of 2 Hodge trophies and was Missouri's first national champion at the tournament. He teched Travis Frick in the quarters, Mike Patrovich in the semis, and majored Jake Herbert 14-2. Herbert had beaten Mark Perry 9-3 in the semis. So that's pretty much Ben Askren for you.
Yeah, he's all right.
He's okay.
He's an all right wrestler.
I see this match going just it's going to be bonus points for me from Ben Askren. It's just a matter of what we're talking about. I like Matt Brown a lot, but I think stylistically, I feel like if Ben Askren got a hold of Matt Brown would not know what planet he was on. I think just that scrambling ability and just funk, I think it just really, really clashes with how Matt Brown wrestled. And I'm still deciding what bonus points I'm going with here, because we're talking about arguably Ben's best year, 45-0, all those pins, Hodge Trophy. I don't know what to say here. I'm interested to see what you guys got. I'll kick it to Jack.
It's hard not to say Penn, but I don't want to skew the duel, because that's a game changer.
That's what I was thinking too.
But I'm going to go Ben Askren, because it's Ben Askren.
And that's what he did to people. All right, cool. You made me feel better about myself. I'm going Penn as well. All right. Earl, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I got no problem with that.
All right. Askren by Penn. Seth, are you following suit, or are you seeing it differently?
Yeah, I'm in with that.
Jude, you look upset.
I would never pick a pin against a Nittany Lion, but I would probably go major. Yeah. No.
Oh.
Major, I suppose. I don't know. Do I have to agree for it to be a pin?
No,
First
you don't, because it is majority rule, so it is already
Right, right.
happening.
Awesome. Love
It is
that.
already happening to you.
I can see the other team getting some bonus.
Oh yeah, it's gonna happen.
somewhere.
I'm gonna put multiple hearts here. There we go.
The more the merrier.
Yep. So that's a pin for Ben Askren, starting off this duel 6-0. And I mean, again, I'm with you. I hate saying it because I think that that's saying a lot, especially of pinning another national champ. But that's just what he did, man. That's absolutely what he did, and it's not crazy. Next one, 184 pounds, Gabe Dean of Cornell versus Shane Webster of Oregon. We'll start off with Earl. Tell us a little bit about Shane Webster, because I think most people know about Gabe Dean.
Yeah, so researching this annoyed me because you got 2 national champions from 2006 from programs that have been dropped since then. So I don't like that. But so Shane Webster went 37-1 this year. He became Oregon's first national champion since 1969. He was All-American as a sophomore, went 0-2 as a junior, then won the title as a senior. He was the 5th seed, beat the 4th seed Joe Mazurko in the quarters, beat Josh Glenn, the 1 seed in the semis. Glenn went on to win the national title at 97 the next year, and then he beat Roger Kish 3-2 in the finals. Kish was the Big Ten champion then. So there is Shane Webster.
All right. Jude, Gabe Dean.
All right.
Destroyer of Worlds.
Destroyer of Worlds. So was this his sophomore year, Gabe Dean's?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. Sophomore year. This is his first NCAA title. He would make 2 more finals. This bracket was, I mean, pretty ridiculous. And obviously, like, we all know Gabe Dean. I'm not going to go on too long about it. But this bracket in particular was, I want to pull it up to make sure I don't get it completely wrong. But, I mean, he beat Brown. There's Vic Avery in there, Sammy Brooks, Kenny Courts, Matt McCutcheon. Lots of really good guys within this. And there's a couple more. But, I mean, again, Gabe Dean, the man beat Ed Ruth. He was looking to be, get 3 more. He would have been a 3-time national champ, if not for Bo Nickel. But, yeah, I mean, there's not a ton else to say. So.
Absolutely. There's one dude standing in the way of him being a 4-time finalist, and that's Ed Ruth, somebody he beat that year. And then, like you said, Bo Nickel beat him to deny his 3rd title. So, being a loss to Ed Ruth and a loss to Bo Nickel away from a potential 4-timer is pretty crazy. Not saying that, he's at that level, but those 2 losses are the losses that stop that. I think it's always interesting to go back and look at those guys that are really close or a couple matches away to being in that light. But I'm going to kick it somebody else to start it off. So Seth, what are you thinking?
So this was Gabe Dean's sophomore season. This was Webster's which year?
It was his senior year.
It was his senior year. Man, I'm gonna go Webster. He's out in Oregon, program that's dropped. Man, he did something really special for that program, and they're pretty similar on paper. Both got a title. And what was Webster the year before?
He was 0-2 the year before, and I think he was maybe 5th or 6th as a sophomore.
Yeah, so they got similar at this point. So I'm gonna go Webster.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go Gabe Dean. Looking back at it, Gabe Dean has a career record of 155-7. I know we're not talking about his last 2 years, but in his sophomore campaign, he was 42-2, 55% bonus. Shout out to WrestleStat for being my brain a lot of the time. But he was really dominant this year, and I'm going to go Gabe Dean. Jack, what are you feeling?
Just in terms of the bracket, this year, I think 06 was tougher. Josh Glenn, Roger Kish. Ben Whistle was tough. I'm gonna go Webster. I think that 2015 184 isn't a standout weight class, and so just in terms of toughness of the weight, I'll go Shane Webster.
But does the 2006 bracket have a guy of Ed Ruth caliber that Gabe Dean beat at one point?
No, but like how many Ed Ruth's not in the 2015 weight class.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying at this point in his career, Gabe Dean had beaten Ed Ruth, and so
then
that's
get beat
obviously
by
his
him the
best one.
next match.
Yeah,
but-
well, I get to pick what I say.
Hey,
all right?
Gabe Dean also lost to Nolan Boyd. Are we talking about that?
Yeah. What year was that?
2015 or 16? It might be
Well,
16.
if it was 16, then it didn't happen.
Hey, all you've been doing is
yeah, but that makes it worse almost because
You've been talking about all Gabe Dean's
better
stats for his whole
version of
career.
that.
All right,
I think
Earl.
this is a tough one. He's young.
I've got to go with Gabe Dean. I thought the weight classes were kind of similar, and this particular year, I think Dean just had a bad day in Vegas and lost 2 matches, and then didn't lose for the rest of the year. So I got to go with Dean.
That Vegas trip is hard, especially going from East Coast to West Coast. It's like a long flight, and yeah, it's terrible. One time I had to do it at 3 a.m. and then I wrestled the next day.
Oof.
Yeah, well, all I got to say is the red eye home, it is never a good idea to drink because I went to the Rose Bowl one year and I took the red eye home. So I got on the plane at like 12:30 at night and I can't sleep on planes at all. Just it doesn't happen. And so I thought, all right, let's go sit at the bar for a couple hours and then get on the plane. Surely I'll be able to fall asleep. One of the worst decisions I've ever made. That was 5 hours of being nauseous and intoxicated, and it was awful. So yeah, those flights are not great.
No, I took the red eye home and I was in a weird place. I was wearing sunglasses in the airport and just it was bad. I felt like I want to throw up the whole time.
It's not good. Not a good day for me. But Jude, it's coming down to you. So Gabe Dean or Shane Webster, decide this for us.
Gabe Dean, bro. I'm picking Dean, dude. I ain't playing around. Man, beat Ed Ruth, all right? He beat Ed Ruth. Enough said. But yeah, no, it's not gonna be a blowout or anything like that. But I'm confident that I pick Gabe Dean here in this match. So.
All right. Gabe Dean moves on or gets the win for 2015. We're going to move on to 197 pounds. Kyvan Gadson versus Jake Rochalt. This is the second time we've seen Jake Rochalt, and I'm interested to hear what people got to say about it. So, Earl, do you want to start us off and tell us a little bit about these guys?
Sure. This was his Rochalt's 3rd title. He had lost in the Big 12 finals to B.J. Payton from Nebraska back when they were in the Big 12. So that gave him the 4th seed. He ended up pretty dominant at the tournament, beating Joel Flaggart from Oklahoma, I think 4 or 5-0 in the quarters. Then he pinned future UFC champion Chris Weidman in the semis. Weidman was an unseeded guy, and then he dominated Phil Davis 10-3 in the finals. This bracket, the top 3 seeds all lost in the quarters. So he was the highest seeded guy from there on out. And that's about it.
All right. Jack, what are you feeling about this one?
This version of Kyvan Gadson will not lose. I've got to go.
Yeah.
Gotta go.
Get the man some ice cream.
Get the man some ice cream.
Give him some ice cream. Seriously.
Man.
Now, here's the question. Would Jake Rochalt go upper body with him? Would he even play that game?
I think he had a little bit of upper body stuff, so I could see him going there with him.
Yeah, well, then it's all over. You got that body lock, step around, knee block. It's done.
I don't know, man. I don't know about this. I think that as great as Gadson was this year.
It's not like he beat Kyle Snyder or anything. Oh, wait. He
Or
definitely
Morgan
did.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I would have loved to see that match actually play out without the. I mean, it was an awesome throw. It was incredible. It was a really really cool match to watch, and to be in that atmosphere was awesome. But I would have loved to see it play out and see what would have happened. But I'm gonna go Roche here. I just think this is his third national title. The dude was insanely good at this point, and I gotta go Roche.
You're a goon.
Seth, what are you thinking?
Give me Gadson, man. I love that dude. I like watching that dude. Give me Gadson. I know
Hey,
he's catching him. He's freaking going upper body, and he's going for it.
Did all three of us
Lose,
just
right?
real quick?
Jesus. All right.
There's gotta
So
be some upsets, so we can't always just go by the book, man.
who's left with our votes?
Yeah,
All right.
I'll go Gadson too.
Hey,
Oh yeah.
good man.
You guys are all just picking this man. Oh my God. No way. Three-time
Give him,
national
man, some
champ.
ice cream. That's all we gotta say.
Three-time
Those weight classes
national
are
champ.
like, they're kind of weak. He's amazing, and I don't want to take away anything from him. But Kyvan Gadson owned Kyle Snyder in the finals, and Kyle Snyder went on that same year to be a world champ. The same year.
Same year.
A few
Oh,
months later.
no.
World champ, Kyle Snyder, Penn.
Whatever. All right. Well, it's decided. I'll take it like a man and move on. Oh, whoops.
You put it on the wrong guy.
I didn't.
Yeah, take it like a man.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But,
All right. Heavyweight matchup, Nick Gwiazdowski versus Cole Conrad. I know Jack was super excited to talk about this one. So do you want to start us off with your thoughts on it, Jack?
Man, I don't know where I'm gonna go. Which title is this for Gwiz?
2.
This is his second. Dang, this is Conrad's first, I believe. Oh man, Cole Conrad beat Steve Mako in the final here. I don't know. I really don't want to start us off here. I wanted to listen and then make my decision.
All right. Well, Jude, tell us some background on Nick Gwiazdowski.
man, this was his senior year. He was a 2-time champ, 4-time AA. He beats Adam Kuhn in this match. 76. Yeah, 1 second. I'm sorry. I want to just pull up the bracket. Yeah, beats Adam Kuhn 7-6. Crazy match. He also beats Connor Medbury too in this match. So, or not this match, this bracket. I mean, Gwiz went on to have a phenomenal freestyle career, and had an incredible folk style career as well. Big guy, fast, but he can he has a lot of good techniques as well. So, but Jack, Seth, Earl, Jacob, someone.
Earl, Cole Conrad.
All right, so Cole Conrad was big dude, kind of like Adam Kuhn, maybe not quite as athletic, but he beat Mako 3 times that year after Mako was the Hodge Trophy winner the previous year and had beaten him 3 times. His tournament was he was the 1 seed. He beat Mike Faust from Virginia Tech 4-0, beats Cain Velasquez in the semis by tiebreakers, and then beats Mako in tiebreakers as well that year.
Yeah. Man. I'm going to kick it off. I know that both of these guys have a lot of really good wins, but I'm going to favor the more athletic heavyweight. I'm going to go with Nick Gwiazdowski here. I just think that he was kind of one of the first ones in that wave of more athletic guys versus just the giant heavyweights. And, obviously Conrad was athletic and good as well, but I think that Gwiazdowski just had a little bit more as far as that era or that kind of style is concerned. But I also have a little bit of a Nick Gwiazdowski story. He actually know him decently well. Worked over at NC State for a summer and got to know him pretty well. And he came out to one of my practices I was running and ran a practice for me. It was really cool. But he was in there teaching, and all of a sudden I look over at the door and I realize there's like 10 people standing at the door watching. And, you know, I'm in North Carolina, right? We're not in Ohio or Pennsylvania or a big wrestling state. And so, you know, nobody even really cares about wrestling. But it's all the football coaches standing there watching at the door. And I like look over and the head coach is like, hey, come here. And I walked over and he's like, is that who we think it is? Like, who do you think it is? It's like, is that Nick Wistowski, national champ over at NC State? And they were all like totally fangirling at the door. Like it was crazy. They were amazed that he was there. It was really cool. But
That's awesome.
anyways, yeah, I'm going to go with Nick Wistowski. We'll move on to Seth.
Yeah, I'll jump in here. So I was a huge Cole Conrad fan growing up. I loved watching him. He was one of my favorite, man. When he beat Mako, that was awesome. I would go to the duels and watch him, and he was always the guy that you knew it came down to. A team needed a pin, he'd get it done. And with all that being said, I'm going with Nick Wistowski because I don't know, man. The things that Wistowski can do for being a heavyweight is just unreal. And I think that stylistically, those two wrestle that if they get in scramble positions or, you know, Gwiz does something that puts him into a position he's not necessarily used to, I think that Gwiz comes out on top in that. And, yeah, this is one of the matches I'd pay money to watch this match today, and I think this would be a crazy one. But I think it just slightly favors Gwiz in those types of situations, unless Conrad, you know, pins this dude or, you know, catches him. And
Was Gwiz ever pinned in college?
what's that?
Was Gwiz ever pinned in college?
I doubt it.
It would have had to be his freshman year if it happened, but I doubt it.
Yeah,
Not
so
that I remember.
I said it's second on Gwiz there.
All right.
Give me Gwiz.
Gwiz. Jack.
I think I'm ready. So I actually have fangirl moments with both these guys. When I won my ACC title, I was like in the stands. I went to go say hi to my parents, and Gwiz goes, "Dude, you looked awesome!" And I was like, "Thanks." And like, and then Cole Conrad, I went to watch Oklahoma State versus Minnesota at Oklahoma State when they did the duel, and I wanted to see Mako because, like I said earlier, I'm a huge Mako fan. And Cole Conrad comes up, and my dad's like, "Hey, Cole Conrad, what's up?" And I was like as a child, and he took a picture, signed an autograph. I still have the picture. I gotta find it. But Cole Conrad cut to heavyweight.
He was huge.
Huge. One of the biggest heavyweights. 3 wins over Mako versus Gwiz, who wrestled Tony Nelson. And that was like his biggest win, I think.
Coon's pretty good too.
Medberry.
Conrad's a better version of Tony Nelson, so I'm gonna go Cole Conrad.
Would you? Yeah, I mean, Coon is a really big heavyweight as well.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's just a different day and age for sure. I feel like heavyweight back then was the big guys, the guys who play football. I mean, it could go either way.
Yeah,
I think
for sure.
he's athletic enough to beat him, but I also think Conrad's big enough to stop his athleticism.
Earl, end it for us.
Yeah, I have to go with Gwiz. Just if we're going with Conrad's senior season, then I may pick him. But Gwiz, you know, he beat Adam Kuhn. He beat Tony Nelson's. You know, he could have success against these big boys.
Yep. All right. Well, we have Nick Wistowski moving on to the next round, and we're going to circle back around to the top where we have Nathan Tomasello versus Joe Dubuque. We'll go ahead and kick that one off with Jude telling us about Nathan Tomasello.
All right, Nathan Tomasello, Ohio State. This was his freshman year at 125 pounds. The following years, he would go on to All-American 3 more times at 133, 133, and then back down to 125. And he would take 3rd place those following 3 years. But this year, he comes out as a freshman, and let me pull it up. I want to get what seed he is. Excuse me. He was the
4 seed.
The 4 seed. Thank you, Jack. And 4 seed in this, and he ends up having a crazy tournament. he gets a win over Alan Waters in the semifinals, and then a win over Zeke Moisey in the finals. But this bracket is kind of ridiculous. I'm just gonna say some names, but it's Gilman, Waters, Moisey, Nashawn Garrett, Joey Dance, Jesse Delgado, David Terrell, Timmy Lambert, our buddy, Ethan Lezak was in here, Conaway, and my good friend Josh Rodriguez. So lots and lots of talents packed into this one little bracket.
Did you say Bresser too? Ronnie Bresser's in it too.
Oh shoot, I did not even see that. But yeah, Bresser, dude, wild. And it starts off like just a really good career for NATO, and now he's looking to have a good freestyle career. And so yeah, it's 125.
All right. And 2006, Joe Dubuque for Earl.
All right, Joey D. He was he won his second title this season. He was Indiana's first multi-time national champion since 1935 and 38 when Charlie McDaniel did it. I'm sure we all remember that. In the finals, he beat Troy Nickerson 8-3, and this was before Cornell did the Ivy League shirts. So Troy Nickerson was a true freshman. It looked kind of like a man against a boy, those two wrestling. His only loss of the year came to Kyle Ott in tiebreakers of the Big Ten semis. Ott was the two-time runner-up at the tournament in the quarters. Dubuque beat guy who's Cal State Bakersfield's assistant coach Luke Smith 6-4, and then he beat our friend Sam Hazewinkle, the 2 seed in the semis, 2-1.
All right. Man, this one is definitely a swayable one for me. But God, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm going to need another second. Does anybody have their pick ready to go? All right, Jack.
I just think his route was tougher.
Who'd you say?
Dubuque. I got Dubuque. I think his route was tougher.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go NATO just because I've watched more of his matches and I know a little bit more of what I'm picking. And I'd rather stick with what I know. That's 100% recency bias, just 100%. But I'm going to have to pick NATO in this match.
All right. What are you thinking, Earl?
I have to go with Dubuque. Tomasello is always kind of a big physical guy, and I don't think, he's not going to push around Joe Dubuque as a senior.
Yeah, that's true. He was a freshman in this.
Yeah, I agree. I was leaning Dubuque, and I was trying to find something in my head to go the other way, but I think it's Dubuque. Watching that 2006 finals match with Troy Nickerson, who was also a national champion, he beat him, I think 8-3 was the score, and it was kind of a butt whooping. He looked really good, man, really good. It was a good match to watch. If you haven't seen that one, I would definitely go back and watch it. But I can see Joe Dubuque winning this one. Just the offense, and I don't know. I got Dubuque. I'll move on and stop talking. I'm talking myself.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good
But
radio, Jacob.
Whatever. 133 pounds. Cody Brewer of Oklahoma versus Matt Valenti of UPenn. Start us off with Matt Valenti, Earl.
All right, so Matt Valenti went 36-2 this year. He had a 24-match win streak there. At the NCAA tournament, he pinned the 11 seed Robbie Preston in the quarters. In the round of 16, he beat the Big Ten champion Tom Klum in the semis. The quarters, I'm getting confused. Then we got the number 3 Nathan Morgan from Oklahoma State, who he beat in the semis 7-3. He beat Chris Flieger for the title. It was kind of a weird match where he actually won without getting a takedown. He won 3-2 with a reversal, and he rode him out in the second period. So it was kind of an awkward match. He actually won 2 national titles without getting a takedown in either match.
Whoa.
Kind of a weird fact.
That's kind of bizarre.
And you said, was this his first or second national title?
His first title.
This is his first. And on the other side, Cody Brewer, Jude. Fill us in.
Cody. So Brewer is a junior in 2015, and this was his first national title. But this is his third All-American. He went 7th, 8th, 1st, 3rd. You would take 3rd as a senior. This is the year he beats Corey Clark in the finals, but also in this this bracket. So there's Clark, but there's also Gulabon and DiCamillo, Richards, and our good buddy Mason Beckman is also in this bracket. So Brewer would go on to have a really good, finish his career. He obviously taking 3rd, really good wrestler, and so I guess that's Cody Brewer. I can't believe I said as one of his credentials, I said he was a really good wrestler. That's
He was that.
He was that. I'm sorry. I'm a little fried at the moment, but you're good.
Does anybody remember what his regular season was like this year? Because I think that every time you think of 2015 Cody Brewer, you just think of the absolute beatdown he put on people in the national tournament.
He was injured most of the year.
I think he was only like 13-1 or something like that coming into the tournament.
Yeah, because he quit in the middle of the year.
Yeah. Well, good thing whoever got him back. That's a asset to the Oklahoma staff over there. But he came into that tournament and just blew the doors off of people and destroyed everybody. And
I'm gonna jump in and go Cody Brewer. He was on fire that tournament. He was destroying dudes. I remember I wrestled this dude and freaking, it might have been the next year, but I wrestled this dude in freestyle. This dude messed me up and freaking real quick. He's strong for 133, man. I'm going Cody Brewer.
Yeah.
All right. Earl, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know very many people that would have beaten Corey Brewer during this tournament. I got to go with him.
Yeah, I'll go next. He majored Johnny DeJulius, majored George DiCamillo, majored Chris Dardanes, and beat Corey Clark. And that match is weird. He takes him down 4 times, and somehow Corey Clark gets 1 takedown, and it's a 3-point match. Cody Brewer.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm going to follow suit. It's just, yeah, that tournament he had was just unstoppable. Jude, what are you thinking?
It's Cody Brewer. It's got to be Cody Brewer. So that's who I'm picking.
All right. And we're all going just by decision?
I would get down with a major, but that's just me.
Is anybody else?
I'm going to stick with decision.
Yeah, give me decision.
Yeah, I'll stick with decision. I think the puss is messing with Jack down there.
Oh my
He
gosh.
majored literally everyone.
True, but
I don't feel bad. He
the finals.
took down Corey Clark at will. He majored everyone else. He pinned his first round opponent. He got bonus like crazy. And I think a guy like Matt Valenti who didn't get takedowns would have a real hard time dealing with a guy like Cody Brewer that was just taking people down, letting them up, taking them down, letting them up. I think it's a bad matchup, and I stick with my major decision.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and move down to the next one. That is a win for Cody Brewer, and that's going to untie our score. So it will be 12-9 in a minute when I get to it. But 141 pounds, Logan Stieber versus Nate. Is it Gallick?
Yep.
Nate Gallick. This is Stieber's 4th title at this point. He won the Hodge Trophy in 2015, as shown by our little star. But Jude, anything else you got to say about Logie Bear at this point in his career?
Man, there's not too much to say. I wish we kind of got it. I wish we could get him on for the show again because he was pretty awesome to talk to when we had him earlier. Yeah, Hodge Trophy year, 4th national title. He beat Mitchell Port, who went to my high school, in the national finals. Devin Carter was here, Kevin Jack, Ashnault, Le'Veon Mays. So at the time, there wasn't a ton of talent, but a lot of these guys in the future would end up being really good wrestlers or, have the credentials. So, Yeah, I guess that's Logan Stieber.
I think a good thing to say about Stieber too is like not only was he a 4-time national champ, but the dude has a hit list. I mean, look at the dudes he beat along the way those 4 years. Zane, Jo, Mitchell Port's one of the best to never do it. Devin Carter, the dudes that Tony Ramos, these guys are the real deal, and so it's pretty hard to get anyone to pick anyone over Logan Stieber. But give us the case for Nate Gallick, Earl.
All right, so he was the Hodge Trophy runner-up this year, was undefeated 35-0. We talked about Tion Ware earlier. They had rivalry over the last couple of years of their career. He lost to Ware 2005 in the finals. He beat him this year. He also beat him in the Big 12 finals and the duel. He was the OW at the Big 12s. His tournament consisted of a quarterfinal win over Brandon Rader from West Virginia, and then Andy Simmons, Nick's brother, 4-2 in the semis. So that's, he was an incredible defensive wrestler. Pick his spots to score, but I can't go against Logan Stieber.
Yeah. Seth, what are you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, you got to go Logan Stieber, man. He was one of the best at the weight class, past for a long time, best of all time maybe. But I think the bigger question, a lot of guys you'd give Logan Stieber, even a lot of national champs, you'd give him bonus points against. I think that's hard to do against Gallick. He had such a good season that year, close to a Hodge Trophy. So I'm going to go Logan Stieber decision, but like I said, a lot of other guys that he wrestles, even though they're national champs, you got to give him bonus.
I'll agree with you. Logan Stieber for sure. I feel the exact same way about bonus points. I think throughout this tournament, I'm going to be picking Logan Stieber for a lot of bonus points, but especially, fourth year Logan Stieber. But, 35-0, Gallick was on a mission, and I'm gonna give him a regular decision. Jack or Jude, jump in.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just gonna go Logan Stieber, and I might actually pick Major just because he is. Oh my gosh, is he mean on top? He's like, especially in recent memory, like you're thinking of mean wrestlers. Like obviously Metcalf is there, Zane is there. Like Logan Stieber was just brutal, especially on top. So. I'll pick Logan, and if you guys want to, I definitely consider Major. I don't know, just because see what he can do to the field.
Jack,
I'm gonna go Logan. I'm gonna say definitely not a Major. I think that if I look at a list and see the 141s in this tournament, it's gonna be hard for me to pick against Nate Gallick, other than Stieber, this Stieber. Maybe even a junior Stieber, I'd pick Nate Gallick. I mean, this guy was unreal. Had wins over very good guys. Was pretty much the only guy that could beat Tion Ware. So, I mean, if 2006 moves on, I could see myself picking Nate Gallick the rest of the way.
All right. Well, that wraps up 141. We'll move on. 149, Drake Hudeshelt from Missouri versus Dustin Hudeshelt versus Dustin Slater of Minnesota. Earl, fill us in on Dustin Slater.
Dustin Slater, he was that dude. He was that freshman that everybody gets swept up in. Back in 2006, he lost early in the year to Mark DeSalvo from Central Michigan. I think it was at the Journeyman Duels, and went on a 65-match winning streak. He ended up beating DeSalvo later in the year. He beat Esposito, who was the returning national champion twice that year. Then at nationals, he majors Eric Tannenbaum in the quarters. He beats Matt Storniolo, Oklahoma, in the semis 5-1. Then he shuts out Ty Eustace 4-0 in the championship. And Eustace had beaten Esposito in the other semi.
Yeah. All right. So Jude, other side of things, tell us about Drake.
All right, Drake Hudeshelt, from Missouri. He was 5th and 6th beforehand, and then this year, I believe senior year. Is that correct, Earl?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, senior year. He goes out with a bang, gets on top. This is 149. and he beats David Habit, Villalonga, but like Sorensen and Hunter Sieber were also here in this bracket. Yeah, Hudeshelt had a good overall career. Never really was on top until his senior year, and I want to say it was it kind of because it got opened up. Like, wasn't there a lot of guys in front of him the previous year, and they graduated?
He was actually the 1 seed as a junior the year before, I believe.
Oh, yeah. And did he not place that year? Was that the year he was that a year he bombed? I might be completely incorrect on this one, guys. I'm sorry, but
No, you're good.
does that sound right to you or no?
I can't remember exactly what happened, but I do know
I think he was fifth or sixth that year.
Yeah, I do know he was the favorite, and I believe that was the year Surtis beat him. And then Surtis went on to win a national title as a freshman.
And Jason Surtis beat him. That is it.
Cool. My mind does not betray me often, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Right.
But yeah, this match for me, I think that it's another one where we're discussing more of the bonus points. You know, I got Schlater, and I'm going to go major decision with Schlater.
I'm going to jump in and second that. I got Schlater. Man, that dude was so good that year. He went on such a good streak, and he was just tearing dudes apart. You know, I don't know what – he might have been plagued with injuries the rest of his career, but that year he was unreal. One of the best freshmen ever. So I'm going Dustin Schlater.
And I believe this is like what I was talking about earlier. I think this was the year that Schlater beat up on Esposito.
Yep.
So, Earl, what are you thinking?
Yeah, give me Schlater. If you want to say major, I wouldn't be opposed to that, but I'm definitely going Schlater.
Yeah, give me Schlater, and I'll pick major.
Jack?
I'll go Schlater. I don't think it'd be bonus. Both these guys were low-scoring guys. Hudeshelt, however you want to say it, would win close matches. Dustin Schlater would win close matches. Yeah, I don't think it's bonus, but like Seth said, I'll agree with that. I think he's one of the best freshmen of all time, for sure. He was plagued by injuries after this year, and we didn't get to see him 100% after this.
So I actually know Schlater really well. He actually was our freestyle coach at Apple Valley while he was wrestling in Minnesota. So he's a really good dude, and yeah, it was just I think injuries and just couldn't get back to where he was. But yeah, he's an awesome dude, and he killed it, man.
Was his injury? Was it concussion?
I forget. He doesn't talk about it too much. I think he's one of those dudes who doesn't like to make excuses, but I think everybody knew there was something after that year.
I think he sat down with Bader not that long ago, and they talked about because I think he was one dude who had suffered like concussions. At least that's my understanding, and again, take it with a grain of salt because
Well, at least 3 of us and possibly 4 with Earl have major decisions. So we put 4 points on the board for 2006. That moves us to a 15-13 score with 2 matches left. And actually, before we get to the next match, we have breaking news. I don't know if you guys have seen it on Twitter or not, but Mark Hall is on the move. He is going to the PRTC with UPenn and Coach Slay over there. So Mark Hall is no longer a Nittany Lion. Well, he will forever be a Nittany Lion, but he is now at UPenn. So
wow,
him and Slay, that doesn't surprise me. Him and Slay are super super close. So
yeah, Slay coached him in Colorado whenever he did the athlete program over there.
Yep, and all the world championships, Slay was always in his corner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I'm excited to see that. I'm really excited to see that. I think that he's kind of one of those guys that people always talk about being like a tweener with weight classes, right? Maybe kind of a 79-ish guy. But I'm interested to see how his career unfolds and where he goes for that.
Yeah, man, he's a much better freestyle wrestler than he is folk style, so I'm excited to see what he does.
Yeah,
sure.
I think we could be hearing a few more people going to Penn. They were recruiting me, and they were throwing around some names that I was like, really think you'll get him. And I mean, Mark Hall was one of them. And so I think in the future we could be hearing some more people going there.
I have a question. Do you think Gable will stay at Minnesota? I mean, like,
For like this year,
no. I mean, like, after he's done. I mean, I could see Gable going to Penn, right? So he's tight with Mark, isn't he?
I don't know. I think Gable's got bigger. I think UFC, WWE
Right,
is
yeah.
realistic for him. So I think he's going to be trying to make big bucks right out of college.
Yeah. Well, let's get back to this thing so we can wrap it up. We've already been talking for a long time, and I can talk all day, but listening to this long of a podcast is can take a long time. So 157 pounds, Isaiah Martinez versus Ben Charrington of Boise State. Is that how you say it, Charrington?
Yeah, that's correct.
All right. So Earl, tell us about Ben Charrington.
Yeah, so you may have seen him a couple weeks ago. He's one of Justin Gaethje's coaches. So he was in his corner at the UFC fight. He coached him at Northern Colorado. Ben went 20-0 this year. I think he was injured in the early portion of the year, so he didn't really have that many quality wins. So he got the 5th seed at Nationals. He was part of a bracket that really kind of blew up, and all 4 of the top seeds were out before the semis. He beat Mike Chandler in the quarters pretty handily, 8-1. He beat Joe Johnston 8-3, and then he beat Brian Stith in the finals. And that was he beat him in the Pac-10 at that time, Pac-10 finals as well. So yeah, I think his finals match maybe was a 4-point decision, which was the closest match of his tournament.
All right. And on the other side, Isaiah Martinez, Jude.
I mean, we all know Imar. Everyone knows Imar. So this was his freshman year, and he would end up making 3 more finals appearance after this. And I mean, what can I say? There's not a lot to say. He beats Brian Robuto, James Green. Also in this, this bracket was, Dylan Ness was here, and obviously, like, just a lot of really, really talented guys. But what was cool about this year for Isaiah Martinez was, he had this crazy freshman season, and he was, really dominant. I mean, he majors Brian Robuto in the finals, and everyone's just like, what is he going to do these next, 3 years? And for a while, like, nobody thought he was gonna. I mean, even like when he was wrestling Chenzo and Nolf, like, people still thought he could be a 4-timer, and he could, right? So I mean, I've always been a fan of Imar, and he's right there knocking on the door against JB and Dake and them at 74 kg. So he's looking to be a real consistent guy for Team USA here in the near future.
Yeah. And I mean, looking back at Imar's career, I mean, the guy, I believe off the top of my head, I think he had 3 career losses. He lost to Nolf one time and then lost twice to Chenzo in the finals. But this is also his freshman year we're talking about. And I think his freshman year possibly might have been his best year. He was undefeated national champion, ran through everybody. Just the horsepower is unreal. That I love that underhook series that he kind of does everything off of. I tend to teach it a lot in my practices, and I know I love it myself. And so I think it's important when you're talking about this to take into account when you have like a freshman guy versus an upper class guy. But I think freshman Imar is a different animal, and he's insanely good at this point, possibly the best of his 4 years. And so I'm going to pick Imar.
Yeah, I'm with you, dude. I'm definitely taking Imar in this match.
Yeah, I got Imar too. He was so good that year. Talk about Dustin Schlater having a good freshman year. That's another one. Martinez was tearing dudes up that year, and just the way he won nationals that year, I think you got to go with him.
Yep.
That's for sure.
Jack, what are you feeling?
Yeah, Imar.
All right, and Earl?
Yep, I'm good with Imar as well.
Isaiah Martinez. Are we going bonus or are we going just decision? Or should I ask, is anybody for bonus?
I'm gonna say decision.
Cool. I'm good with that too.
Okay.
All right. So Isaiah Martinez. What?
Dude, last match. I said we're here.
All right.
We're
Yep,
the last
we are
match of this
here.
whole thing. Oh my gosh, it's been a long recording.
165 pounds, Alex Derringer of Oklahoma State versus Johnny Hendricks of Oklahoma State as well. So the battle of the Cowboys. Man, this is, I think, going to depend a lot too on what year each of these guys are. Johnny Hendricks. Earl, can you start us off and tell us 2006 Johnny Hendricks?
Yeah, we talked about him a little bit. 29-1 this year. He lost to Bracamani of Oregon and Reno. That was only loss. He beat Dan Thompson from the Citadel in the quarters, 9-6. He had that match with Moose from American 4-3 in the semis. And then that crazy controversial match versus Ryan Chirella, 9-8 in the finals. Aside from the controversies with Chirella, he was just all over him. It was a great comeback as far as him getting some late takedowns and wearing him out. For me, I have to go with Alex. I think he probably could have won the Hodge this year if no Stevers past credentials. Then some people voted for him anyways.
All right. And Jude, tell us, Alex Derringer, where at this point in his career is he?
All right, this is his junior year. To my right, am I correct there, Earl?
Yes.
Junior year. This is his second title, and he would win another the next year, and the next year he would also be a Hodge Trophy winner. But this year, he has an extremely dominant NCAA tournament, beating Taylor Walsh in the finals 14-7. He gets a tech fall in the quarterfinals over Jackson Morse, and a decision over Bo Jordan in the semifinals.
6-1.
6-1, right? Yeah, it's not even a close decision. It is decisive. Let's see. But I mean, also in this bracket, there's just a lot of good wrestlers. Dylan Palacio is there. Isaac, both Jordans, Isaac and Bo. And yeah, so definitely a tough bracket. And I mean, what is there to say about Alex Derringer, right? We all know who he is, so I won't take up too much of your guys' time.
All right. Earl actually had to go real quick, but we are going to finish this one off, and we'll make sure we look at the Twitter poll for our vote if we decide to get there. But yeah, looking at these two dudes, especially in this year, for me, it's Alex Derringer. I think that just the dominance that Derringer had this year, he was 1 point away from a major decision in the finals, and Hendricks, is a very controversial win in that finals. Looking at the 2 years side by side, I'm going to take Derringer in this one.
Ooh.
I second it.
I think I got a lot of recency bias behind me on this one, just because, I mean, seeing what Derringer's doing now, it's pretty ridiculous. But I'm gonna take Alex Derringer here in this match.
Yeah,
all right.
I'm going Derringer. I think 2005 Johnny's different. I think the next round that we'll see, I'm gonna pick Johnny, but 2006 too controversial.
Yep. All right. Well, we've got it down to the end, and we have a 21-13 victory for 2015. Great duel. Ben Askren really helped his team trying to push him over the top and get closer, but wasn't able to do it.
2015 team is brutal, dude.
2015 is brutal, is great. I'm looking forward to that 2015 versus 2005 matchup. Going to be a good one, man. I'm excited for the next episode, but thank you guys for coming on. I really appreciate it. And Seth, Jack, it's always awesome. Jude, you're the man. Thanks for coming on and researching. Man, thank you for coming on so much, because not only did you research a team that might have been wrestling when you were in diapers, you also dealt with us giving you the only team that wasn't a Penn State title. So you battled through some adversity for us. So
I'm just glad one of my teams punched through and that I can keep coming back on. So
yeah, man,
it's my pleasure. And whenever you guys want me,
awesome. For sure, man. You will be here again. Love having you. But that's it for us. We're going to go ahead and sign off. Let us know how you liked it and tune in for the next episode where we will see the 3 and 4 seeds in their first round matchups. But that's it for us here. Thanks again. We'll see you later.
Later, guys.
Peace.